بيحضروا للايفنت، او ناس مستنيين يسمعوا سبيتش معينه، او كدكاتره جايين يحضروا الايفنت ومنورينا النهارده. نحب نشكر دكتور احمد نور الدين ودكتور هاني شوقي ودكتور هشام عوض ودكتور مصطفى هدهد ودكتور مصطفى هدهد ودكتور ميرفت مصطفى ودكتور رانيا هدهد ودكتور شهيرة سمير وكيلة الكلية شؤون البيئة ودكتور أشرف عمر وكيل الكلية. طبعا احنا في وسط الحماس ده كله ما ينفعش ان احنا ننسى الهدف اللي احنا بنعمل اصلا الايفنت ديت عشانه، او اللي احنا يعني بنشتغل مع بعض عشان نحققه. احنا طبعا كفايزن، عشان اللي ما يعرفش فايزن، احنا بنشتغل للتطوير المستمر لمستشفى الدمرداش. طيب احنا بنعمل الكلام ده ازاي؟ احنا بنعمل ايفنت وبنتكلم مع سبونسرز وهكذا، وبنتكلم شركات ادويه وشركات اجهزه عشان نوصل لاحسن جيل ونشتري الأجهزة ديت لمستشفى الدمرداش. طيب احب برضو اشكر الفانكشنال تيم اللي هو اشتغل على الايفنت ديت من الاول خالص وبدا ان هو يبنيها من سكراتش، والليدر بتاعته آية شاهين. شكرا جدا. طبعا كل حاجه احنا بنعملها بتبدا بمجرد فكره صغيره، بس الفكره دي احنا لو اشتغلنا عليها بديترمينيشن واحنا مصممين انها ايوه ان شاء الله هتتحقق، ممكن ان احنا تنجح. بس احنا ياما قبل كل اجازه حاسين ان يلا نعمل 1 2 3 4 وفي الاخر نلاقي الاجازه خلصت من غير ما نعمل اي حاجه. مشكله procrastination. طيب هل في حد عنده خبره في الموضوع دوت يقدر ان هو يكلمنا عنها؟ عايزين نرحب بالسبيكر او سبيكر معانا رائف الجرحي.
Hello everyone. For those who attended my talk last year, well, I think I mentioned that I wanted to talk about procrastination, and even though I had about 8 months to get it ready, I mean, I still got it ready in the last minute. Okay. So, procrastination. Let's do it. Later. So this is a slide from last year, anyway. Procrastination. What is procrastination? Procrastination is the avoidance of doing a task that needs to be accomplished by a certain deadline. So there is both a task and a deadline. So everyone would think, what would be the difference between procrastination and just unspecific laziness? Well, let me tell you. In procrastination, you intend to do the task. However, in laziness, you have no intention whatsoever of doing the task. Of course, laziness, we're going to tackle procrastination in this talk. So, before we get things started, let's just, before we get things started. Okay, so, the setbacks of being a procrastinator. The first one for me would be anxiety. Well, if you keep delaying a task, well, the task would keep blinking at the back of your mind, even though you're enjoying your time at the moment, well, the task would keep blinking at the back of your mind, I need to be done, I need to be done, and this would just be really stressful. The second one would be possible diminished outcome of the task that needs to be done. Well, of course, if you do a task at less than the appointed time, it's going to be done with much less accuracy. And the third one, well, stick with me on this third one, because I'm going to mention it at the end of the talk. So the etiology of procrastination, because we're all medical students, I've searched a lot for the etiology of procrastination, and I found that it was related to operant conditioning. Humans feel two main emotions. There is pain, and then there is pleasure. Well, and doing a task would cause you pain, so avoiding the pain will eventually lead to you feeling pleasure. So if you keep conditioning your mind to procrastination, well, eventually you condition your mind that avoiding the task would lead to pleasure, so you delay all your tasks. The second one, and start digging into the personal factors. Well, the first one, the personal factors for me would be perfectionism and fear of mistakes. perfectionist and you fear doing a lot of mistakes, you keep waiting for the perfect time and perfect conditions to do the task. Well, guess what? The perfect time is never going to be here. And if you wait until you're ready, you're going to be waiting until the end of your life. So there is that. And of course, your mind, if you do a task and it's not perfect, your mind will go like the entire is with whatever. Anyway, the third one would be surplus belief in one's abilities. Well, if you have extra belief in your abilities and you have a task that needs to be done in a certain time, well, of course, you keep delaying the task and you go the first few days, sleeping and doing absolutely nothing. And in the final day or moment, you go like, oh my God, had thought again, I have a task that needs to be done. So, well, even though you might get the task done at this specific time, you'd feel very drained by it. And then lack of motivation. We've all had our days when we just, avoid the task of just staring at the roof or just counting the tiles on the floor because we're just so demotivated and so energy depleted. So we just sit there doing nothing. Well, this one I'm going to tackle at the end of the talk, so bear with me, please. And then I'm going to tackle the task factors. There are two main task factors for me. Either it's a boring task or overwhelming task. Boring task is either it's going to be a lecture that you need to self-study or an assignment, or an overwhelming task, to get this talk ready, and it's just so met with so many expectations. So, if it's a boring task, you need to, keep it engaging. And I'm actually, again, going to tackle this at the end, so please bear with me. And then, a task that has no negative consequences if you just keep delaying it. Well, if you have a formative exam in our university, you keep delaying studying for it because the marks won't be included in your final grading. So عادي يعني مش حوار ما تذاكرش مش مهم. So how to beat it? Well, first of all, you need to forgive yourself for the wasted time. احنا ولاد النهارده هنبدأ من النهارده just forget about the wasted days and don't keep regretting over them. The second one would be figure out why you procrastinate, because procrastination can be related to depression or ADHD. So if you have one of those conditions, you should seek professional help. However, if you have one of the previous factors or previous reasons, you should know it and you should work on it so that you can be able to not procrastinate anymore. However, if also you can't figure out why, you should just move on and do the task and just move on with it. And then the personal factors. The first one, personal factors for me would be self-bribery. This will actually help you to defeat the operant conditioning. Because, if this is an example of self-bribery, giving chocolate in the middle of the book. However, because this will actually help you to defeat operant conditioning. How? Because doing the task will give you pleasure as well. So this is how it works actually for me. I actually ate the chocolate at the end. So, and I didn't study it. And then peer pressure, but in a fun way. So basically, every time I have a test or we have a test in our college, I'd go call my friend, my dear lovely friend Mahmoud, and I'd be like, ازيك يا محمود عامل ايه? And he'd be like, hello. This is actually how he responds. So, and I'd be like, hey يا محمود عملت ايه? And he'd be like, لا رأيك قول انت الأول. And I'd be like, أنا لسه ما بدأتش. And then he'd be like, احنا عندنا امتحان بكره يا ابني انت لازم تبدأ مش عارف ايه ويقعد يحمسني بقى مش عارف ايه. طب يا محمود انت خلصت قد ايه؟ أنا لسه ما بدأتش برضه. So, eventually we keep panicking together, but we motivate each other. And it kind of works at the end. However, if it's going to stress you, if you know that they actually finished more than you actually finished, then just don't do it. Don't ask around. So, this is Mahmoud talking to me, basically. Yeah. And then, take breaks and enjoy them. This will actually help you to refuel and regain your energy. If you're feeling demotivated, if you're feeling drained out of your batteries, well, this will actually help you to regain your energy. If you do the things that sets your soul on fire, this will lead to, energy. And then time management factors. For me, there are 3 time management factors. The first one would be deadlines. Well, my dear lovely friend Heba Shams, actually, I can relate so much in this. I don't know where she is at the moment. Anyway. My dear friend Hera, wherever you are. Well, she's the one who kept setting me deadlines for this talk, and if it wasn't for her, this talk would So, and of course, I kept passing every deadline she said. Anyway, so deadlines actually work because you put yourself under pressure to accomplish a certain task. You know, you keep an alarm ringing at your head, and it would be like something that would give you pressure to keep you moving. So if you're someone who can work under pressure, well, put yourself under more pressure. You know, I can work under pressure, then give yourself more pressure. They eventually work. So then the next one would be having a to-do list. Well, this is my to-do list. No, not this one. This is the second one. Yes. Productive task 1, task 2, and 3. Well, to be able to arrange your task, you have to do a to-do list and put the main needed and put the high priority tasks first. And if actually a high priority task can be finished in just one single occasion, you should just divide the task into multiple occasions so you can be able to divide and conquer. So if you have 5 days and one main task, you shouldn't do that. You know, no work, and then all the work in the final day. No, this is not how it's done. It should be a bit of work in the first day, a bit of work in the second day, and then more work, and then more work, and then max work in the final day, and then the task would be eventually done. Finally, the 10 minutes rule. If you have a task, a boring task, for example, you should just sit on it for a complete 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes without standing up, without going anywhere. Just 10 complete minutes focused on the task. You find yourself eventually sitting it on hours and hours until it's finally finished. And this actually is the last of the setbacks of procrastination. If you become chronic procrastination, well, procrastination becomes your lifestyle. It affects your health because, you know, you keep delaying working out, you keep delaying dieting. I'm going to exercise tomorrow. And if you actually have a disease that is related to genetics or something, you'll finally kick in because, well, you keep procrastinating. And the second one, it affects your relationships. How? Because you keep delaying making that move on the significant other, and maybe he or she moves on with her life. And maybe you keep delaying calling your friend, or you haven't called for maybe, you know, months or something because you're so busy in college life, and, well, you find another friend. That's just how life works. And finally, it affects your future because, you know, it will cost you lots of opportunities, and it will cost you lots of career options because you didn't move that little bit earlier. So please don't let it win, and please apply those advices from now on, or maybe tomorrow. Thank you.